Yo, what's up, car fanatics? Today we're diving into one of the sickest pieces of engineering on the planet, the Ferrari engine. Yeah, I know. You've seen these supercars zoom past on the freeway or in videos, but have you ever stopped and thought about what actually makes that roar? That insane acceleration, that heartbeat of a Ferrari? Buckle up, because I'm about to take you behind the scenes into the crazy world of Ferrari engine manufacturing. This isn't just nuts and bolts. This is pure art, precision, and obsession all rolled into one. All right, let's kick things off. Imagine walking into the Ferrari factory in Maranello, Italy. You're surrounded by engineers in red jumpsuits, machines whirring, sparks flying, and a smell of metal and oil in the air. Sounds like a scene from a futuristic movie, right? But this is real life. Ferrari doesn't just assemble engines, they craft them with human hands and superhuman precision. Every engine has a story, and every story starts with a block of aluminum. Yeah, aluminum might sound basic, but in the hands of Ferrari engineers, it becomes the beating heart of a supercar. So here's the deal. The raw aluminum block first goes through some serious CNC machining. Think of it like carving out a sculpture, but this sculpture has to survive insane temperatures, vibrations, and RPMs that could make your head spin. And we're not talking sloppy work. Tolerances here are measured in thousandths of a millimeter, smaller than a human hair. If you mess this part up, the engine could literally explode when it hits redline. That's why Ferrari engineers treat this like rocket science. Once the block is machined, it goes through a laser-sharp inspection process. They're checking for cracks, warping, and basically any microscopic defect that could ruin performance. Ferrari doesn't do good enough, it's perfection or nothing. Next up are the pistons, camshafts, and crankshafts. These parts are like the soul of the engine, and Ferrari makes sure they're lightweight but crazy strong. Titanium, forged aluminum, carbon fiber. These engines are packed with high-tech materials that most people won't even recognize. But they make a huge difference in performance. Here's something wild most people don't know. Even with all the fancy machines, a huge part of Ferrari engine building is done by hand. Engineers literally spend hours assembling engines piece by piece, checking torque, alignment, fit, you name it. They're obsessing over every single detail, because at 8,000 RPM, even the tiniest mistake can spell disaster. And yeah, some of these engineers actually sign their engines once they're done. That's right. Handmade by engineer's name. That's accountability mixed with pride. And it's part of what makes Ferrari engines legendary. And let's talk sound. Ferrari engines don't just run, they sing. That scream you hear when a V12 hits full throttle, that's not random. It's engineered. Exhaust design, valve timing, intake flow. They all work together to create that iconic Ferrari roar. Engineers spend hours tuning every little part, so that not only does it perform insanely, but it also sounds like a freaking symphony. You can't fake that kind of engineering. It's the result of decades of experience and obsessive testing. Speaking of testing, Ferrari engines go through some of the most insane dyno tests in the world. I'm talking high RPM, high temperature, vibration, you name it. Every engine has to hit exact specifications for power, torque, and reliability. If it fails even slightly, it doesn't get installed. Ferrari isn't about mass production, they're about perfection. And the crazy part? Every engine that leaves the factory is a unique masterpiece, built to exacting standards but still handcrafted. Now, let's hit some tech talk, but don't worry, I'll keep it chill. Ferrari engines aren't just metal and pistons. They're computers on steroids. Fuel injection, variable valve timing, electronic control modules. They all work together to squeeze every ounce of power out of the engine while keeping it drivable. Ferrari engineers constantly monitor sensors during assembly and testing. If a reading is off even slightly, it gets adjusted. There's no margin for error here. This is high-tech meets old-school craftsmanship. Weight is another huge factor. Ferrari engines are crazy light for how much power they put out. Aluminum blocks, titanium rods, carbon, intake manifolds. It's all about saving grams without sacrificing strength. Lighter engines mean better acceleration, handling, and overall performance. And that's why when you drive a Ferrari, it feels alive. You don't just press the gas. The car responds like it knows exactly what you want. And here's something wild. Every Ferrari engine is basically a living lab. Engineers are always tweaking, testing, and improving. They experiment with hybrid systems, turbocharging, new alloys, and lubrication technologies. Even as the automotive world shifts to electric, Ferrari keeps pushing the boundaries of what a combustion engine can do. They're proving that tradition and innovation can coexist at insane levels of performance. You know that feeling when a Ferrari starts up at a car show or races past you on the street. That sound, that vibration, that instant torque, that's the result of thousands of hours of obsessive engineering. Every piston, every cam, every spark plug is part of a carefully orchestrated symphony. It's not just a car, it's emotion. Ferrari engines make people stop in their tracks because they're perfectly crafted chaos, and quality control, and it's next level. Every engine is inspected multiple times, and if something isn't perfect, it gets fixed immediately. No cutting corners, no excuses. That's why even with extreme performance levels, Ferrari engines are incredibly reliable. You're not just buying an engine, you're buying decades of human skill, obsessive craftsmanship, and pure passion. The more you dig into it, the more insane it gets. Ferrari engineers don't just assemble engines. They live and breathe them. They're obsessed with precision, obsessed with performance, and obsessed with the Ferrari legacy. Every rev of the engine is proof of this obsession. Every roar is a reminder that humans are still capable of creating machines that combine beauty, art, and power in one package. And the legacy of Ferrari engines? Legendary. From classic V12s to modern hybrid powerhouses, every engine represents the pinnacle of automotive engineering. Ferrari isn't just a car company. It's a symbol of human ingenuity, obsession, and passion. And you can feel that in every note of the exhaust, every shift of the gears, and every furious burst of acceleration. So, here's the takeaway. Building a Ferrari engine is not just a job, it's an art form. It's a mix of old-school craftsmanship, high-tech engineering, obsessive quality control, and insane attention to detail. Every part is designed, machined, tested, tuned, and assembled with the kind of precision that most people will never see. And that's what makes these engines not just fast, they're iconic, legendary, and unforgettable. When you see a Ferrari tearing down the street or on the track, don't just admire the car. Look under the hood. Imagine the engineers sweating over tolerances, tuning each cylinder, signing off on the final masterpiece. That engine is the heart and soul of Ferrari. And now you know the crazy, fascinating process that goes into building it. And remember, it's not just about horsepower or speed. It's about craft, obsession, and perfection. Every Ferrari engine tells a story of human skill pushing the boundaries of possibility. So next time you hear that roar, appreciate it for what it really is. Decades of knowledge, passion, and pure automotive genius turned into one living, breathing, roaring masterpiece. So yeah, that's the scoop. Ferrari engines are not just machines, they're legends. They're handcrafted, high-tech, precision-tuned beasts that are designed to make your heart race, your jaw drop, and your soul feel alive. That's the power of Ferrari. And now you know the full story behind how these insane engines are made.